The Price of Betrayal. Ayatunde Adewale was the pride of his family. Born into a struggling household in Ibadan, he learned early that hard work was the only way out of poverty. His father, Babalola, was a mechanic who barely made enough to feed his 4 children. His mother, Abidimi, sold akara by the roadside. Despite their struggles, Ayatunde was determined to change their lives. From a young age, he worked odd jobs, fetching water for neighbors, washing cars, and selling newspapers, just to support his siblings. His younger brother, Femi, was a dreamer who never wanted to work hard, while his sisters, Ronki and Funmaleo, always depended on him for everything. But Ayatunde didn't mind. He believed family was everything. Ayatunde's intelligence and determination earned him a scholarship to study engineering at Obafemi Awolowo University. Even while studying, he worked as a taxi driver to send money home. When his father fell sick and couldn't work anymore, Ayatunde took full responsibility for the family. After graduating, he got a job in Lagos and worked tirelessly. He lived in a tiny one-room apartment, sending almost all his salary home so his siblings could get a good education. He bought his father a new workshop, built a better house for his family, and ensured his sisters had everything they needed. His sacrifices paid off. Femi became a lawyer, Ronki a nurse, and Funmaleo started a thriving boutique. The Adewale family had moved from struggling to comfortable, all thanks to Ayatunde. Life was good until the unexpected happened. Ayatunde invested his savings in a business deal with a man he trusted, but it turned out to be a scam. He lost everything. His company fired him when they discovered he had taken an unauthorized loan to support the business, and just like that, his wealth was gone. He turned to his family, believing they would support him as he had done for them. But betrayal struck where he least expected it. When Ayatunde visited his brother, Femi, he was met with coldness. "Brother, I wish I could help, but things are tight right now," Femi said, adjusting his expensive wristwatch. Ayatunde knew it was a lie. Femi lived in a mansion and drove 2 luxury cars. His sister Ronki wasn't any better. "Ayo, you know I have children now. I can't carry your burden too," she said dismissively. Even Funmaleo, the baby of the family, turned her back on him. "Brother, I need to focus on my business. I can't let your problems drag me down." Ayatunde was shattered. These were the same people he had starved for, the same ones he had sacrificed his youth for. Now that he had nothing, they saw him as a burden. Even his mother, Abidimi, who once praised him as the family's savior, told him, "A man must learn to stand on his own feet, my son." The ultimate betrayal came when he found out they had sold the house he built for them and divided the money amongst themselves. Ayatunde was homeless, penniless, and heartbroken. For months, he wandered the streets of Lagos, sleeping in an abandoned bus park. But Ayatunde was not a man to stay down for long. He took up menial jobs, working as a laborer by day and a security guard by night. Slowly, he rebuilt himself. One day, fortune smiled upon him again. He met an old professor he had helped back in his university days. The professor, now a business mogul, offered him a job in his construction company. Ayatunde worked harder than ever and within 2 years, he became the company's regional manager. Now financially stable, he distanced himself from his family. They tried to reconnect, but he ignored them. He was done being their sacrificial lamb. Years later, Femi lost his job due to corruption, Ronki's marriage collapsed, and Funmaleo's boutique went bankrupt. They came running back to Ayatunde. "Brother, please help us," they begged, their voices filled with desperation. Ayatunde looked at them, the pain of their betrayal still fresh in his heart. He simply smiled and said, "A man must learn to stand on his own feet." And with that, he walked away, leaving them to face the consequences of their own The Price of Betrayal 2. The Weight of Karma. Ayatunde Adewale had rebuilt his life, stronger than before. As the regional manager of a multinational construction company, he now owned multiple properties in Lagos and Ibadan. His days of suffering were behind him, and so were the people who betrayed him. His family had tried reaching out several times, but he refused to answer their calls or visit them. To him, they were ghosts of a painful past. However, fate had other plans. One evening, while leaving his office in Lekki, he received a message from an unknown number. "Ayo, please come home. Mama is dying. She keeps calling your name." His heart skipped a beat. His mother, Abidimi, the same woman who had turned her back on him when he lost everything, was now at the edge of death. He debated whether to go. Did she deserve his presence? That night, he barely slept. No matter how much he tried to hate them, they were still his blood. The next morning, Ayatunde drove to Ibadan. As he arrived at his family home, a place he had built but was forced to abandon, memories of the past came rushing back. Inside, he saw his mother lying on an old mattress, her once strong body now frail. Ronki and Funmaleo sat beside her, their eyes swollen from crying. Femi stood by the window, his face hardened by life's struggles. "My son," Abidimi whispered weakly as he knelt beside her. You were always the best of us. I was blind, we were all blind." Tears gathered in Ayatunde's eyes, but he said nothing. "Please, forgive us." Her voice cracked with regret. Ayo wanted to scream, to remind them how they had abandoned him. But looking at his mother, he saw nothing but a dying woman who had finally realized her mistakes. "I forgive you, Mama," he whispered. She smiled weakly, and with that, she took her last breath. Abidimi's death shattered the family. During the funeral preparations, Ayatunde saw how much his siblings had fallen. Femi, once a proud lawyer, was now drowning in debt. His law firm had collapsed after a scandal. Ronki, the once happy nurse, had lost her job and her husband had left her. Funmaleo's boutique had been seized by the bank due to unpaid loans. Life had humbled them. After the burial, they gathered around Ayatunde. "Ayo, we have nowhere else to turn," Ronki said, tears streaming down her face. "We need you, brother," Funmaleo added. "Please help us rebuild," Femi pleaded, his voice filled with shame. Ayatunde sighed. These were the same people who had turned him away when he was at his lowest. Did they deserve a second chance? For days, he struggled with the decision. He could leave them to suffer as they had left him. But was he any better than them if he did that? After deep reflection, he made a choice. "I will not give you money," he told them. "But I will give you opportunities." He secured a small legal consulting job for Femi in his company. He got Ronki a position as a health supervisor at one of his construction sites. He helped Funmaleo restart her boutique, but under strict financial guidance. "This is your last chance," he warned them. "Do not waste it." At first, they struggled to adjust, but slowly, they started rebuilding their lives. The years of hardship had humbled them, and they finally understood what Ayatunde had done for them all along. One day, Femi visited Ayatunde at his office. "Brother, I was a fool," he admitted. "I thought I was too big to fail. Now I understand what you went through." Ayatunde nodded, a small smile forming. The pain of betrayal would never fully fade, but maybe, just maybe, his family had finally learned their lesson. And this time, here are some lessons from this story. 1. Karma is real. The actions we take in life, whether good or bad, eventually return to us. Ayatunde's siblings betrayed him when he needed them, and life later humbled them. 2. Forgiveness is strength, not weakness. Despite his pain, Ayatunde chose to forgive his mother and siblings. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting but releasing the burden of resentment. 3. Opportunities are more valuable than handouts. Instead of giving his siblings money, Ayatunde gave them a chance to rebuild themselves. Hard work and discipline lead to lasting success. 4. Never take people for granted. Ayatunde's family assumed he would always be there to support them, but when he walked away, they realized the value of his sacrifices too late. 5. Pride and arrogance lead to downfall. Femi, Ronki, and Funmaleo believed they were independent and didn't need Ayatunde. Their arrogance made them blind to the truth until they lost everything. 6. Hard work and persistence pay off. Ayatunde's journey proves that resilience and determination can help rebuild a broken life, no matter how hopeless things seem. 7. Family bonds should be cherished, not exploited. True family supports one another, not just in times of abundance but also in hardship. Ayatunde's siblings only sought him out when they needed help. 8. Humbled by life's trials. Hardship teaches valuable lessons. After losing everything, Ayatunde's siblings finally understood what he had gone through and became better people. 9. Success is best when shared wisely. Ayatunde helped his siblings but with conditions. Helping people blindly can enable bad habits, but guiding them toward self-sufficiency ensures true change. 10. Redemption is possible, but it must be earned. The siblings got a second chance, but only because they showed willingness to change. Everyone deserves redemption, but effort is required. This story highlights the power of resilience, wisdom and the consequences of our actions. Please like, share, leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching.